Hello everyone, this is Kristen coming from you at my home. I am going to be leading you through a yoga practice, about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on how I flow through my practice. I want you to take a moment to just bring yourself into the present moment, just sitting cross-legged and just taking a moment to clear the mind, using the breath, feeling the breath come into the body, and then feeling the breath slowly release. As that breath starts to release, we feel the shoulders just gently pulling away from the ears. Feeling how any thoughts that may be distracting are leaving our minds. Allowing that mind to move into the present moment each time the breath is released. Feeling how the body is becoming one with the mat. And now we'll just simply, on the next inhale, we'll start to lift the arms up, reaching and lengthening, bringing our hands together, and then we'll slowly bring them down and rest them gently over our heart center. Another inhale, we lift the arms up. Start to bring the palms together and slowly release the hands back to our heart center. Continuing with this flow, as we're moving at the rate of our breath, we feel the lungs filling up with the breath, as if our lungs were balloons filling up with air. We feel how the release of the air allows the breath to exit our lungs. And let's do one more. Taking a moment to set an intention for our practice. This is something we are hoping to gain or accomplish as a result of this practice. And now we bring our bodies to all fours. Creating a neutral spine, preparing for our cow and our cat. As we inhale, we move the body into our cow, lifting the crown of our head, lifting our sacrum. And as we exhale, we move into our cat, lifting our shoulders, arching our back in the opposite direction. Inhaling to bring the body back into our cow. And exhaling to bring the body back into our cat. Continuing to flow at the rate of our breath. Allowing the body to move rhythmically with the breath. Feeling how an increase in flexibility is being added to our spine as we change positions. Feeling how the shoulders are allowed to lift higher into the sky. Wherever we are, let's do one more cow and cat. And then we find our body coming back into a neutral spine. Here is where we will prepare for our spinal balance. So our right leg goes out behind us, lengthening away as our right hand reaches out in front, feeling how the body reaches from crown of our head to tailbone, fingertips to heels. And then releasing back down on our exhale. Inhale, we lengthen, reaching that left leg behind us as we reach the right hand out in front. Coming back down as we exhale. Inhaling to bring length into the body. Exhaling to bring it back down to the mat. And we're continuing to flow at the rate of our breath. One breath, one movement. I'm going to turn to the side slightly so that you can see what the leg is doing as the arm reaches. Continuing to lengthen the body. Continuing to feel how the crown is pulling out away from the body. Feeling how the hand and the leg continue to reach far out. Making sure we do one more on each side. This will help with our balance and evenness throughout our body. And now our down dog. So we'll tuck our toes under, lift our hips up in the air, and feel the arms just pushing gently to bring those hips a little higher. And now let's bicycle our down dog. As we push one heel down, we lift the other. And then creating a pedaling motion. We can feel the heel pushing a little farther down into the mat. As the heel is lifted, the toes are stretching. Doing one more on each side. And now coming into a forward fold as we bring our feet towards our hands. We may choose to step one foot at a time, or we may choose to jump with both feet in the direction of our hands. And we have a slight bend in our knees for safety and comfort. And maybe at this part of our practice, that bend is a little bit greater. A slight lift as we bring our hands into our shins. We feel the back flattening out. Feeling how the crown is being pulled to the wall in front, adding length to the spine. And then on the next exhale, we just release back into that forward fold. And maybe really feel that breath
exhaling and releasing from our body with a little force. Now on the next inhale, we'll reverse swan dive as we reach and lengthen up into the sky. And we bring our arms down as we come back into a mountain. From here, we'll move into a warrior series. So I'm going to step forward with my right foot. I'm going to step back with my right foot. Sorry about that. I'm going to step back with my right foot, leaving my left foot in front, feeling how my hips and shoulders are square to the wall in front. And then I'll reach my hands up into the sky and just gaze softly into the sky, being mindful of my front knee and ankle, making sure they are stacked on top of one another, helping to protect the knee joint. And now I'm going to make a 90-degree angle with my arms, opening up that heart center a little further, feeling how the breath is able to fill up the lungs, envisioning the diaphragm stretching each time we inhale. And now our warrior two, as I bring my arms out, lengthening them away from my body, allowing that exhale to release the shoulders down from the ears, just slowly releasing the tension. And now reversing my warrior as I reach and lengthen the front arm. I can feel the side lengthening. I can feel the arm, the front arm reaching as I bring the hand a little higher into the sky. Now I come back to my warrior two. From here, I prepare for a side angle. So a nice gentle touch with the front arm on the front leg as I bring the back hand up, just gazing gently into the sky. I should be able to lift up my front arm and still be able to hold the side angle as I allow the muscles to engage in the dynamic muscle tension. And then reaching the front hand down as I extend the side angle, continuing to gaze up into the sky. On the next inhale, I'll lift back up as I come back to a warrior two. From here, a pyramid pose will be next. As I straighten my front leg, I leave a slight bend in it for safety and bring the back hand forward, squaring my hips and shoulders once again. I begin to hinge and lead forward, just allowing the spine to lengthen. Once again, I envision the crown being pulled out away from the body to bring length and openness into the spine. My hands may rest gently on my shin. I may be able to place them on the mat or two blocks, or I may find comfort by bringing the hands to my lower back. I begin to soften my front knee, which will allow me to place my hands on the mat. I will sweep my leg back as I come into a down dog, gently pushing with my arms to lift those hips, and then taking a moment to pull the ears and the shoulders apart, feeling how a softness can be felt in the neck. And now I'll step forward with my right foot as I allow the body to move into a warrior one on this side, aligning my front knee and ankle, squaring my hips and shoulders, lifting and lengthening the arms. Once again, I feel strength coming into my body. I feel the muscles engaging, allowing strength to continue to fill the body. Now, a 90-degree angle with the arms, allowing the heart center to open a little bit more. From here, we'll move to a warrior two as we allow the hips and the navels to come to the side. I'll just gaze softly over my front fingertips. I'm mindful of the equal pressure that is being created on the feet, helping to create stability, continuing to add strength. And now reversing the warrior, just reaching that front arm up, feeling how the breath is allowed to fill the front side. We'll now come back to a warrior two. Preparing for our side angle. Once again, we're lowering the front arm gently, touching the front leg, lifting the back hand, allowing the gaze to come up into the sky. Once again, testing to see how the body is being held with the dynamic muscle tension. Preparing to extend our side angle as we reach the front hand down, continuing to gaze up into the sky. On the next inhale, we lift the body back up into a warrior two. From here, we prepare for our pyramid pose. So we'll straighten our front leg, remembering to leave a slight bend in it for safety. And then we'll bring the back hand forward, starting to lead with our heart, hinging forward, bringing length into the spine. We may choose to rest the hands on the shin, possibly 2 blocks or the mat, or we may find comfort with bringing the arms to our lower back, continuing to lengthen the spine. We'll start to soften the front knee as we allow the hands to come to the mat so we are able to sweep the front foot back. Just continuing to lift the hips up as we move into a down dog. From here, we'll move into a 3-legged down dog. We'll start with our left leg as we lengthen it up into the sky. Remembering to separate the ears and the shoulders. Now let's bend the left knee and allow the left foot to drop in the direction of our right side, allowing us to open up our hip, feeling more pressure on our right hand and foot. Starting to square the hips back with the mat, allowing the foot to rest gently in its place. We'll now lift up the right leg, bringing length into this leg. Once again, bending the knee as we drop the right foot in the direction of our left side. Opening up the right hip, feeling more pressure on our left hand and foot. Starting to square the hips back with the rest of the body. Let's step that right foot forward, bringing it towards our hands, and then bringing our left foot forward as we come into a forward fold. Just allowing that breath to exit our body. It also allows us to sink deeper into our forward fold. A slight lift once again as the hands move to our shins. We bring length into our spine. Using the exhale to release back down into our forward fold. Moving to a gorilla pose, we have two options. One is to take the peace fingers and place them onto our big toes and tuck the chin under. The second is to place our hands underneath our feet to allow the palms to be flat on the mat and our toes to be by our wrists. Feeling how the length comes into our spine. To release the hands, we soften our knees. Gently pull our hands away from our feet. And then we prepare to inhale and reverse swan dive, lengthening up into the sky. And now bringing our body back to a mountain pose. All right, we'll do sorry, I have a notification. It's telling me it's time for 4:30 yoga, so this is very well timing on my part. All right, so our balance pose. Let's do our eagle pose today. So we will start with our right foot coming to balance as the knee starts to soften. The left arm will come out as it is bent. We take the left leg and wrap it around the right, and then we take the right arm and wrap it around the left, trying to bring our palms towards one another at the same time, starting to gently lift the arms into the sky, creating a little extra tension and intensity in our shoulders. Slowly beginning to release the body as we move back into our mountain pose. We will now switch sides as we prepare to balance on our left foot, starting to soften the knee. The right arm will come out. We'll wrap the left leg or the right leg around the left, and then the left arm will come around the right. Bringing our palms together the best we can. We'll feel the body starting to sit back gently. At the same time, we will notice the arms lifting slightly into the sky, creating a little intensity in the shoulders. Starting to release as we bring the body back into our mountain pose. All right, so from here, let's move into a chair flow. As we inhale, we'll sweep the hands up into the sky, We'll bring the palms together as we prepare to sit back into our chair. We will first turn or twist to the left as our right elbow comes to our left leg and the gaze falls over our left shoulder. And then we will release into a forward fold, just slowly letting the body come into that position. And then the next inhale, we will lift back up into the sky, lengthening and reaching, coming back into the hands at the heart center. As we sit back into our chair, we're going to twist and bring our gaze to our right shoulder. Releasing to a forward fold. Just feeling how that breath can assist in the release of the body. Inhaling to bring the body back up into the sky, allowing the palms to come together and to start to sit back into our chair. We will now twist to our left, this time opening our hands. As our left hand reaches to the sky, our right hand rests gently on the left leg. We may find that the left arm needs to change its position by bringing the hand to the hip or the lower back, depending on how the intensity is feeling. Releasing into our forward fold. And then inhaling to sweep back up into the sky, allowing the hands to come to the heart center as we sit back into our chair. Twisting to our right, opening our hands, allowing that gaze to fall up into the sky. Taking a moment to determine what should happen with our right arm, possibly leaving it up into the sky, bringing the hand to the hip or the lower back. Our left hand is resting gently on the right leg. And then releasing into a forward fold. From this forward fold, we're going to prepare for a down dog as we step back, lifting the hips. Lowering the knees down to the mat as we prepare for a dolphin pose. So I'm going to place my forearms on the mat and then clasp my fingers together. My forearms are my nice strong base. And then my toes will tuck under so that I am able to lift my hips into the sky. My head is hovering just off of the mat as I create a separation between my ears and my shoulders. And then my knees will lower down as I release my strong base. I then will come into a child's pose, just allowing the hips to sink back towards the heels, maybe separating the knees slightly, bringing the forehead down, possibly creating a resting spot with both hands, maybe a block. Sometimes I like to bring my arms closer into my child's pose, opening my palms and resting my forehead on top of them. If you're able to, you can wrap your arms around your legs. You may choose to extend your child's pose with your hands reaching to the front edge of your mat, and once again allowing the brow to move down towards the mat. Coming back up into a seated position. Let's take our legs long on the mat. Coming into a staff pose. So my toes are pointed to the ceiling. My legs are nice and straight and my hands are on my shins, and I'm just slowly reaching my hands out. But at the same time, I'm keeping my spine in alignment as I prevent the rounding of my back. As I continue to be in my staff pose, I may find that the hands can reach a little farther forward, adding length to my muscles. And then I round my back slightly, allowing me to reach farther forward. Lifting my crown as I come back to center. I will bring my left foot to the inside of my right leg, and I will reach, opening my shoulders, reaching my right hand to my right toe, and lifting up my left arm to my left ear. Feeling how the stretch can be felt in my left side. I might also feel the stretch in the back of my right leg. Starting to lift the body back to center, which will allow me to switch my legs around. Bringing my left leg long and my right foot to the inside of the leg. Opening my shoulders as I prepare to reach with my left hand and bring my right arm up towards my right ear. I feel the stretch in the back of my left leg as well as up the right side of my body. Coming up to center, I now prepare to bring my right foot to the other side of my left leg as I prepare for a seated twist. So I come up onto my sit bones as I prepare to twist, bringing the right hand behind my right hip and my left arm to my right leg. Just allowing the gaze to come over my shoulder. Coming back to center as I prepare to switch my legs around, placing my left foot on the other side of my right leg, remembering to sit up onto my sit bones to add length before I twist, as I bring the left hand behind the hip and my right arm to my left leg. I just slowly bring that gaze over the shoulder. Starting to bring the body back to center as I untwist. I'm going to leave my left leg across the top of my right as I prepare for a figure 4 stretch. So from here, I'm going to release my spine down to the mat, and then I'm going to reach my hands behind my right thigh as I relax my right leg. I will start to bring the right knee into my chest, and I will start to feel the stretch in my left hip. Should feel it right in this area right here. Just letting my spine relax to the mat. I will then switch my legs around and release my hands as I move to the other side. I will start to bring the left knee into my chest, and this time I will feel the stretch coming into my right side. Feeling how the joint is allowed to open up, that SI joint. And now I will release my hands, placing my feet flat on the mat as I prepare for bridge pose. So my arms will be at my side with my palms facing down. My feet will be about shoulder width apart, and my knees will be aligned with my feet. And here I will use my inhale to lift the hips up off the mat. Slowly bringing the navel up into the sky. At the same time, I'm adding length into the spine of my neck, helping to protect as I come up farther onto my shoulders. I then can take my hands and clasp them underneath, helping to lift my hips up a little higher. And then starting to release my hands and flattening out my shoulders as I prepare to roll down the spine one vertebrae at a time. And from here, I'll counter my back bend as I bring the knees into my chest. And now from here, I will prepare to I have another notification, I'm sorry. I will prepare to bring my body into a Savasana pose. This is our final relaxation, our corpse pose. And so we can do a couple different things for this. We can bring our bodies flat on the mat and just allow the body to release. We may choose a supine butterfly, which is laying flat on our mat, but bringing the soles of our feet together. Or we may choose to place our feet flat on the mat with our knees bent. Or for more of a restorative pose, we may choose to do legs up the wall, finding a flat wall as we make a capital L with our bodies, bringing our hips into the wall and taking our legs straight up the wall. Unfortunately, I'm not able to demonstrate that for you today because all of our wall space is taken up by furniture. But wherever you are most comfortable, maybe even just a seated position as I am in. And so we just feel that breath releasing from our body. And each time that breath lets go,
so does the dynamic muscle tension. We feel the muscles in our crown releasing, the muscles in our brow, the muscles along the bridge of our nose and the cheekbones all soften and become one with the mat. We feel the muscles in our jaw releasing. We may notice the tongue falling from the roof of our mouth, as well as our teeth and lips parting slightly. We begin to feel the muscles in our neck and our throat letting go. And we will notice as we inhale and exhale that the breath is flowing freely. We feel our shoulders softening against the mat. We feel the muscles in our arms releasing, and we may feel the fingertips curling slightly. We start to release the muscles around our spine, and we envision each vertebrae releasing, becoming one with the mat. This will take multiple exhales to release this entire area. At the same time, the muscles around our spine are releasing, so are the muscles in our abdomen area. We may notice our breath is becoming shallow. The navel rises a little less and stays a little closer to our spine. We begin to feel the muscles in our hips softening. The hips have become one with the mat. We also begin to notice the strong thigh muscles are pulling away from the bone, and they are gently becoming one with the mat. We start to feel our kneecaps floating freely as these muscles have softened. The muscles in our calves have let go, and we have allowed them to release into the mat. Finally, we feel the muscles in our feet becoming soft, and we may notice that the toes have fallen to the side slightly. We have brought peace and calmness into our bodies. We feel this flowing from the crown of our head down to the soles of our feet. We just take a few moments and envision ourselves in a quiet, peaceful place. This can be any place that we like to go. Maybe it's our favorite place to go read a book or to have some alone time. Whether it's a special place in our home, a special place outdoors, a place that brings serenity, peacefulness, and calmness into our bodies. And we just take a few moments to Allow our minds to wander to wherever this place is and enjoy the state that we have brought our bodies into. We begin to feel a vibration sensation that is now moving at the bottom of our feet. This is the energy that we will allow to come up our bodies, to re-energize and rejuvenate. It slowly will move into our calves. We start to feel the energy moving into our knees. The energy starts to travel up into our strong thigh muscles. We can feel the vibration sensation coming up into our hips as well as our navel center. Finally, we feel the energy coming up our spine, one vertebrae at a time. We're starting to feel this warmth entering our heart center. We are able to envision the glow that this energy has brought into our heart center. We feel the vibration coming into our shoulders, traveling down into our arms and into our fingertips. We allow the energy to move up into our neck and our throat. It comes up into our jaw, starts to travel into our cheekbones, moves across the bridge of our nose, and enters our brow. Finally, this energy is allowed to move out the crown of our head. With this new energy, we will be able to go out into our journey of life and to take on anything that comes before us. We start to bring some awareness back into our bodies as we slowly move our fingers and our toes. We start to roll our wrists and our ankles. And we move our knees and our elbows, and finally our hips and shoulders. We bring our knees into our chest for one last knees to chest hug. We may also roll to our side and place our arm underneath our head for support. We start to bring ourselves into a seated position by crossing our legs in front. And as we inhale, we sweep the arms up into the sky And we allow our palms to come together, and we slowly allow them to sweep down across the bridge of our nose, across our chin, and down to our heart center. We take a moment to thank our bodies for this wonderful yoga practice. I challenge you each and every day to keep a little journal. Write down some things that you are grateful for. This can be some trying times that we are going through as we are becoming more and more isolated. Keep a journal of 3 to 5 things that you are grateful for each and every day. And just reflect on those areas of gratitude. And I leave you with this thought. I am relaxing into the unknown and trusting that everything is aligning in my favor. And this comes from IamMatra.com. It is a Facebook page that I follow on a regular basis for mantras for each and every day. And I am grateful that you were able to join me from my home for this wonderful yoga practice. As an extension of friendship, as I honor you, I say namaste. I miss all of you, and I hope that someday soon we can all gather at the Y again and practice our yoga and share our energy with one another. I apologize, this went over 50 minutes. I was hoping to do 30 to 45 minutes, but you know that when you get into a practice, it leads you in different directions. And so I hope this practice leads you in a direction that is very helpful to you, as it was very helpful to me. Know that there are other resources online for you. YouTube is wonderful. If you have kids at home, Cosmic Kids Yoga is a fun thing to do with them. And so I strongly suggest that you find other resources along with the wonderful videos that our yoga instructors have posted for you. I want to share a book that I plan to read in the next few days again. This book is called Poser, My Life in 23 Yoga Poses. Here's the author here. Our fellow yogi, Cynthia, who comes to yoga quite often when she is in the Cadillac area, gave this book to me many, many years ago, and I'm going to plan to reread it in this time that I have a little extra. So I'm looking forward to reading this, and I challenge you to also read this. I'm not sure where you're able to get it, but I hope you can find it. And once again, namaste, and I hope you are all well. Goodbye.